What's up? So today's a special day because I'm headed out to Nashville, Tennessee, and there's this little airport close to my house that flies only have two locations. They fly from here to Nashville and then from here to St. Louis. And so I've taken this airport, this line is called Cape Air, to St. Louis before. This will be my first time taking this to Nashville, and it's really not that far of a drive to Nashville. However, when you consider how much it costs in gas and then parking and different things like that, it's about the same or actually a little bit cheaper to just pay the small fee that Cape Air charges to fly. So wanted to give you a review of Cape Air flight to Nashville, Tennessee.
First thing, you pull up to the airport. I didn't even know it was the Cape Air airport because it looked like a post office. So I told the Uber driver, I was like, listen, I think we're at the post office. And he was like, no, this is the airport. And I was like, well, okay.
So I'm just pulling up to the airport, and as you can see, there are not very many people at this airport today, and I'm grateful. And another thing that I'm actually really grateful for, is that they have free parking at this airport. How many airports have free parking? I guess they can provide free parking since there's not very many spaces taken. And then the last time that I was at this airport and flew on Cape Air, it was kind of stormy outside, and I was going through security, and the TSA agent asked me, how much do I weigh? And I said, I don't like around 180. And they said, do you feel comfortable sitting in the co-pilot seat? Like, they said, like, would it scare you? And I said, no, I think it will be okay. And they actually had me on the flight from here to St. Louis in a storm, sat in the co-pilot seat. And I was like, if something happens to the pilot, am I in charge? Do I need to figure out how to fly this plane? And so I'm kind of like curious if that's going to happen again. A little bit, I'm hoping it happens again. So hopefully they'll let me have my camera and I'll get some good footage. But we will see. I don't know if I could request it, if I could request sitting in the co-pilot seat. But I love the free parking. Like I said, it actually ends up, depending on when you book your tickets, when you fly on Cape Air, even if you're flying to St. Louis Airport to fly somewhere else, depending on how many days you're going to be gone, it could be cheaper for you to fly from this airport, at least if you're living in closer proximity. So for me, it ends up being cheaper to go to Nashville. I don't have to pay parking. I don't have to pay parking at all when I'm in Nashville, and I hate driving, and so it's a little bit more convenient for me as well. So
First thing you do when you get in there's one lady working in the airport. And she was like, okay, weigh your carry-on. I was like, that seems normal. I've weighed my carry-on before. And she was like, now weigh your backpack. I was like, well, that's a little odd. I've never really weighed my backpack, but, maybe there's not a lot going on at Cape Air. Maybe she's just trying to get a good work in. Like, you know what I mean? So I weighed my backpack, and then she was like, now you. I was like, why do I have to be weighed? And she was like, well, we have to weigh everybody so we know where to sit you on the plane so it doesn't topple over. Because it's not like a regular plane. And I was like, did you just say regular plane?
So there's the security, and you don't work your way through to security until everyone that's getting on the flight is here, and then they just open it up and bring you all in together. There's my ticket. 2A.
It's terrifying. We walk to the plane. You could sit shotgun with the pilot. Like he's your buddy from college. The pilot was trying to give us a speech before. It was crazy. He was just like, all right, guys, before we take off on Cape Air, I just want to let you know pretty much the most important rule. You guys know how on a regular plane, it's like, when you're on a regular plane, they'll like turn your phones off, but you really don't have to turn your phone off. On this plane, turn your phones off. All right, everybody have a safe flight. All right.
Once we were in the air, it was clear that we had an expert pilot at the helm. The flight was very smooth, and it was a beautiful view as we looked out. The closer that we got to our destination in Nashville, the more clouds entered the sky. I got a little bit nervous that when we had to break the cloud barrier to land, that there would be a lot of turbulence. However, with the expert pilot manning the ship, there was no turbulence, and it was a super smooth landing. In total, the flight from Illinois to Nashville, Tennessee lasted about an hour. It cost about $39 for the flight. It was super fun, great experience, and I give Cape Air a big 2 thumbs up.